subscribers, Lisa here from Fun Stuff Crafts. So glad you could join me for another Inspiration Friday. So I've been on the task of doing a lot of masks and I've been doing gaiters. In fact, I just posted a gaiter video earlier this morning and I thought it would be fun to do something different. I have told you guys I've rediscovered my love of sewing, and so I'm looking for some gift type ideas. You know, believe it or not, it is August 1st tomorrow and Christmas is going to be here before you know it. So I thought, I've got all this fabric, why don't I try to find some cute, easy gift ideas? So I thought it would be fun to make some new pot holders for my kitchen. And so I had a lot of fun making these different pot holders, and they are super easy and lots of fun to do. So I want to take you through a step-by-step tutorial on how you can dabble a little bit in quilting. I'm not sure you would really call it quilting, but there is batting in between the material. So I'm thinking it's the beginning of quilting. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. I literally put these together in probably, once you get the material cut out, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can do this. So it's a quick and easy project, and it's definitely a beginner type project, so I know you guys can do it. I can't wait to see what you do. I can't wait to hear about your comments. So I look forward to meeting you at my craft table. But you know, before we go there, I always like to thank all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. And we are on the verge of hitting 2,000 subscribers, which I absolutely cannot believe that I would have been at this point when I started this journey with Fun Stuff Crafts. So super excited, so glad you guys joined me. If you're new to my channel and this is your first time, please click on subscribe and click on the bell, and YouTube will alert you each time I upload a new video. Now, I try to do videos every Friday. We have a thing that's called Inspiration Friday, and that's the whole reason why I created Fun Stuff Crafts. I want to try to inspire people to try something new, to try a craft, and I really hope that that's what I'm accomplishing with you guys. So give me a minute. I'm going to join you at my sewing table and we are going to make these super cute pot holders. Okay, so let's get started with this cute project, making some customized hot pads for your kitchen. I have been blessed with having so much fabric given to me over the past couple months, and I've made so many masks, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go buy some fun fabric and I am going to make some hot pads for my kitchen. So this is a super easy tutorial. It looks a little complicated. It is a step into a little bit of quilting. And Lisa is not a quilter, I will tell you that right now. I am learning as I go, but I'm having a lot of fun. So I want to show you guys how easy it is to make these hot pads. I did one with the square print, one with this triangle print. It's kind of fun. And then this one's also a triangle using all the same fabric. So basically it's the same method. It's just how you use your fabric. So let's go ahead and get started. So what we're going to need for this project is, of course, we're going to need our fabric, okay? And I've already cut out my fabric. I am going to do a triangle one and a square one for you guys. And so I have got some contrasting fabric here that I thought would be fun to do. And then I've got some other contrasting fabric to do for the other ones. So you can see purple's kind of my theme. You guys pick the color that you guys like to use, but I just really love these colors. So I've got, you can do them all the same color too, you guys. It's just fun to do some contrasting. So, and I'll show you how all that works when I start to put it together. The key to making hot pads though is to get the right middle part or the batting part, and this is Insulbrite, and it is a product that is made that can handle the heat. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's kind of got a crinkle to it, and so there's also inside of it, if you look really close, and you might be able to see that, it's kind of got a silver lining. And what that lining is doing is it's protecting the heat from transferring. And so, of course, we know when we're dealing with hot pads, we want something that will definitely take the heat. So just really important that you pick up the right type of lining when you're doing these type of hot pads. I'm sure there's other ones out there available, but I went to our local quilt shop and this is what they recommended for me to use. So what else you are going to need is, I used my rotary blade and my grid to cut out, because it's going to be really important that you have precise squares. Now I did on this one, I did 8 by 8 squares. On these hot pads, these were 9 by 9. So you can choose the size you want, okay? But I am using 8 by 8 squares, okay? So I used my rotary blade and my grid ruler to be able to cut those out. The other thing, if you're not using the rotary blade, you could definitely use a pair of scissors. I definitely recommend using clips for this project. And then if you need help guiding you, because we are going to make one stitch that is going to actually do some of the quilting here on with the guidings of the line, you could use either chalk to help draw that line or some heat erasable marking pens. Since I'm just doing a line from corner to corner, I'm able to judge it on my machine, and so that's what we're going to do with this one. So the very first thing you want to do is you want to decide what's going to be your backing, okay? The other side is not going to show, it's going to be in the inside here, okay? But what I'm going to do is, since I have got, and I guess I should have went over that with you guys, how many pieces do you need, right? So we need, make sure I got this counted right, and I've got my fabric messed up now. So you need 6 pieces, okay? So I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of this fabric cut, and I have got 2 pieces there. So that will be my, could be my front and back. I can choose which ones I want to do. And then I've got 4 of this and 2 of this, okay? So what I'm going to do for this one is, I'm going to do the same design on the front all the way around. So I'm going to make this be my base piece, okay? So what you're going to do is you are going to take your base piece, you are going to take your Insulbrite, and you're going to put it right on there, okay? And then we are going to take your other piece, and you guys notice I put wrong sides together, okay? So you're going to layer it. You're going to put your first piece good side down, your Insulbrite, and then you're going to put good side up, okay? And then we are going to go ahead and just clip that, because we need to take it over to the sewing machine. And then when I get to the sewing machine, you guys can have fun with your thread here now, and you could do a contrasting thread so that your stitch really shows out, or you could do a deep purple and so you can barely see it at all, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do the layer for the second one also, so we can do them both at the same time, because remember, we're going to do one with the square pattern, and then we're going to do one with the triangle pattern, okay? So same thing, I've got my first piece good side down, and then I'm going to put my Insulbrite, and then I'm going to put my next piece. Now I'm going to see which way my grids are. This has got a little bit of a pattern to it, so I want to make sure they're the same. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to clip this, okay? So then when I go over to my sewing machine, what I am going to do is I am going to just do a straight stitch, okay? I've got both my pieces done here. I'm going to do a straight stitch, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a straight stitch diagonally, 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 okay? In this case, you don't necessarily need to do your back stitch. Like I've always told you guys, that's how you finish them off, because we're going to do some other stitching around. So you can just do a straight diagonal stitch, straight diagonal. Now, if you want to have fun with it and you want to do straight stitches, or you're going to get really creative and maybe you've got a quilting foot on your machine and you want to do some swirls, you have at it. You can do whatever you want. I just wanted to show you how we could do this really just real basic. So diagonal to diagonal. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I've done my zigzag stitch, not my zigzag, my diagonal stitch, going corner to corner on both my pieces. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to prep the top portion. Okay, so we're going to set these off to the side right now. Okay, so the first one we're going to do, and you guys will notice I got my handy dandy little felt pad out, which I absolutely love, and I have set my iron to a cotton setting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take each one of these 4 pieces we have, and this first one we're going to do the triangle one. Okay, so my iron just told me it was up to heat, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press those squares, creating a triangle. Okay, and my pressing pad, I'll tell you, this is going to be really important here for this part of it, is you want a nice good press on this fabric. Okay, so make sure you got a good crisp one there, and we're going to do all 4 of those. This is just such a fun pattern. It's fun to do it with other contrasting, you know, colors. And you know what, just to show you guys what that's going to look like, I'm going to mix this up here. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of the triangles in this print too. It's all purple, it'll all go together, but I think this will really show you what the diamond design or the triangle design looks like versus me doing it all the same fabric. So just fun to intermix, you know, whatever colors you guys have in your kitchen, just have at it. You know, it does not take a lot of fabric to do these. Just think of the cute presents you could make, shower gifts, wedding gifts, you know, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, whatever you guys want to think of. And I'll put the amount of fabric you need to make these down below in the description. Okay, so I've got 4 that are done as a triangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and just prep the other ones. The other ones we are just going to fold in half and create a rectangle. Okay, so this one's going to be more of a square print, and then we'll have the triangle print. Now, one thing you can also add, and I did it on one of the other ones, I'll pull it out here so you guys can see it, is if you need your hot pads to hang up, like I keep mine in a drawer so I don't need the little hanger, but if you do, you can definitely add that in, and I'll so you guys could also add that if you'd like to. You can use bias tape for that, or you can just create your own little tab right out of the same material. Okay, so there's number 3, and here is number 4. Okay, so then what we're going to do, you guys, is we are just going to layer these, and this is just so super easy, you guys. There's no extra hand stitching, no nothing on this this project. So that's what I think is so fun, and it's a great beginner type project, which is perfect for me. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, and you know what? I'm going to give it a quick press, just because this will be the last time one side of that will ever be exposed. So I'll just give it a really good press. Give them both a good one. Okay, and I went ahead and chose just to use a purple thread. You guys can choose what you guys would like. Okay, so let's do the triangle one first. It's kind of a fun one. Okay, so I'm going to go every other, just so I got a little bit of contrast here. Okay, so decide what you want to be the bottom. Okay, because you're going to be able to see the bottom. So look at, you know, how your stitching was, what you like, and I'm going to go with this being my bottom. This part will never be seen again. Okay, it's the bottom that will be. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to take your triangles and you're going to measure them up to each corner. Okay, each corner is going to get a corner of a triangle. Okay, and I just like to clip the corner so I know I've done it, and you'll understand why when we get there. Okay, so now see how I'm going to clip this one and this one lays over that one. All right, so now I'm going to clip this corner so I will know that I've done this corner. Okay, now I'm going to take this one and I am going to clip this corner. So now I know I've laid this corner. Now this last one, you are going to want to lift up that first one we did and lay this one down. Okay, so it's kind of woven in there. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Okay, and then we're going to clip that corner. Okay, now I do like to go back and I like to make sure all of my pieces are in. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and grab those other corners we laid in. This one, see, it's off just a little bit. We want to bring him in, because if they're not measured up just right, you guys, you will not pick them up in your stitching. Okay, so just really important that we get those laid just right. Okay, and this one's ready to be stitched. So let's go ahead and put together our square one too. We can do them both at the same time. I can take them over the sewing machine at the same time. So which one do I want showing? I think I want this side showing. So I'm going to lay this one. Now with these ones, we are going to do each corner. Okay, and again, I'm just going to pick one corner so I'll remember. Okay, so I'm going to clip that corner. And then, and your folds, I should have mentioned that too, you guys. The folds are in here, the salvage is out here, because you want the finished piece to be showing. Okay, so I'm going to clip this corner. This is just my method. You guys might have a better one to use, but it really helps me remember where I need to lay. Okay, and then we're going to clip that corner. And then same as we did before, you guys, on the other one, we're going to lift this one up and flip that guy over there. Okay? And we're going to go back and make sure we've got all of our corners done. Okay? And we can add a few extra clips here, especially where we've got these side pieces, where the pieces are coming together. Because again, my sewing machine's not that far away, but I do need to carry it over to my table. And I need to do some sewing there. Now this one doesn't have the same type of connections there, but I'm still going to add a couple pieces. And then I'm going to show you a trick that I like to do to make sure I've got my edges. For whatever reason, I always end up with the top layer being a tad bit bigger than the bottom layer. Okay? So because of that, I like to turn and use my stitching from the base piece that we had done. Okay, so I'm going to use that as the guide on my presser foot and use it to stitch, because I know 9 times out of 10 I make sure that I am picking up all the layers. Okay, so really important that we get all the layers, because what we're going to do is we are literally going to go over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew a seam all the way around. Okay, so I am going to put probably close to a 1/2 inch seam. And the reason why I'm going to do that is I want to make sure that I'm picking up all of the area. What that is going to do is that is actually going to make my hot pads be, right now they're 8 by 8, they're going to be a 7 by 7 when they're done, because I'm going to do that half inch seam all the way around. But you sew all the way around, and we want to make sure that when we start, we backstitch, and when we end, we backstitch. Okay, so I'm going to take both of these, I'm going to go over to the sewing machine, and I'll join you right back, and we'll turn these around, and I'll show you what cute hot pads we just made. Okay, I'm back. I've done my seam all the way around. Okay, and before we turn it right sides out, we are going to trim. And this is one of the reasons why I really like my my grid blade that I've got, or my ruler, and you don't want to go all the way to the seam, but I would do it about a 1/4 inch, and you are just going to trim off all that excess. Okay, it's just going to make for a clean finish, and it is also going to make it just that much easier to turn. So I'm just picking up my sewing line with my grid line, and I've got the 1/4 inch, and I am just trimming. Oops, didn't quite get it trimmed right there. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. The other thing I like to do is I like to cut off my corners. Again, make sure you guys do not cut into the seam. Definitely need that, okay? Turning the corners really helps for a cleaner corner though, okay? So let's go ahead and do the same thing to this one, okay? So I'm measuring up my seam right on that 1/4 inch, and I am gonna cut off all this extra that I've got. Looks like I did a perfect 1/4 inch seam this way, which we know I didn't. But this just cleans it up so nice, you guys. Makes for a really nice inside, although no one's gonna see it but us making it, but it makes for a cleaner turn. Okay, so again, I'm gonna do those corners, and I'm just cutting off the ends, okay? Again, I don't want to go into the seam, okay? Okay, you guys, shut the blade. Let's get rid of our garbage here, and let's see what our hot pads look like, okay? So now all I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn them right sides out, and we're gonna hope that we picked up all the seams. Okay, and you guys can take a pen. I'm just gonna grab a pen I have over here, and I'm just gonna poke those corners out with my pen. Now you guys can see my hot pads are gonna be smaller than my original ones because I cut them to start out smaller, okay? But how cute is that little hot pad? Okay, so that's our square one. Let's take a look at what our triangle one looks like. I can't decide which pattern I like the best. I think that's why I keep making them both. Just play with it, bring it around. Looks like Lisa caught all of her seams, which is always good. The first time I did these, you guys, I did not catch all my seams. So I really had to play with that. Okay, so now, and there is my triangle one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a good press. Still have my iron on. I'm gonna give these guys a really nice press. And you guys have got quick and easy tutorial on how you guys can make these cute hot pads for your kitchen. Just think you can whip these guys out. Excess fabric, you guys, you don't need a ton of fabric for these. That's what's fun about them. Scrap material. You have the flat folds that you can pick up at the store, and you could definitely make these. I will put the exact dimensions of fabric that you need to make these cute hot pads, but there is our quick and easy tutorial on making some hot pads for your kitchen. And here's an example of our finished product. Thanks so much for joining me for another Inspiration Friday. I hope you like this project, making these cute designer pot holders for your kitchen, and the step-by-step video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell, and YouTube will remind you each time I upload a new video. If you have any questions, please add a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to check out my blog at funstuffcrafts.com for other DIY projects.